Welcome to tonight's presentation. This is part two, really, of a bug-free mind webinar. And building a large profitable network is a mind game. There's no doubt about that. The battle is in your mind. But the good news is we've got tools to fight so that you can win. And I promise you, my burning desire is to help you all win. And it's just been so encouraging for me to have heard from so many people in the last couple of days that even what they've done so far is making a big difference. And this is one of the points you've got to understand, guys. If you can't control your thoughts, you will not achieve your goals. That's crucial. If you can't achieve your thoughts, you will not achieve your goals. And one of the things we did last night, and it's just a quick recap, or a couple of nights ago, but this is basically how to achieve your goals. It's fairly simple. You need a sense of discontent with the present. You've got to have a broad inspirational vision of the future. You've got to know what's possible. You've got to have the skills to achieve your goals. And in our game, that's very, very simple. They're all there on the teamfsi.net website. Most are in the GPS. And then you need a strategy or a business plan to work to. And that's all there on the Team FSI website as well. And then having those four elements, you need continuous and deliberate action towards your goals, regardless of whether you feel like it or not. When you start taking the action, contacting the people, sharing the plan, sharing the plan, the presentation, the products, etc., doing the follow-up, you're going to end up sponsoring people. You're going to be using products. They're going to be using products. Your business will start to grow. Simple as that. They're doing grocery shopping. You got grocery shopping happening in two different teams. And bang, every time you get 600 points on one side, 300 on the other, it collides and spits out one cycle, $60. I love that analogy of Tanya Kirkpatrick's. So your business grows. You keep doing that, you're going to achieve some of the early goals that you've set. You're an ease goals. These are goals that are going to ease your financial situation a bit, right? And it could be as little as $60 a week, right? It could be a couple $100 a week, whatever you choose. Then you keep building the business, you keep doing the same thing, continuous and deliberate action. You'll hit some other goals that will enable you to make some serious choices. And you keep doing it and teaching other people and helping other people. What's going to happen then? You'll achieve your dream goal. So that's when everything's going according to plan. And sometimes what happens, the business growth ceases. And when that happens, what you've got to do is you've got to go back in and identify what has happened, what has gone wrong, what's the obstacle. And when you've done that, then what you do is you go ahead and you plan to overcome the obstacle. Right? This is basically using the whoop procedure that we learned about a couple of weeks ago. And that's absolutely brilliant. Right? You've got your goal, you've got your wish, objective, obstacle, plan. And once you have a plan to overcome the obstacle, then you go back and you overcome the obstacle, take continuous and deliberate action towards your goals again, regardless of how you feel. And then you're working and you got the thing growing again. I mean, it's that simple. But most of the obstacles, and this is what we've, be very apparent, are actually in the mind. And I guess I've known that, 32 years, right? It's a mind game. And it's just a matter of getting your mind straight. And this was one of the things back in the early days when I first got into networking. I remember one of the ladies who was very, very close to me and ended up hugely successful in the business as well. But I remember her sharing with me, she said, Trev, she said, I know it's not just the work you did in sharing the presentation, talking to people, etc. She said, I know most of the work you did was actually on yourself. How does she know that? Because she saw me when I first got in. She was there within a couple of months. She was there before I sold the vet practice, gave it away. So she knows what I was like in the early days. Some of the other guys, they saw me after I started doing all this work and they thought, oh, he's always thought that way. No, big mistake. I had to learn to think differently. I've been used to going out and treating negative problems, cows, farms in problems. I was dealing with negatives all the time. A whole new concept when I realised there's positive and negative. And anyway, building a large profitable network is a mind game. There's no doubt about that. And we've got the tools that can help. We've got affirmations, EFT, Whoop, and creating a bug-free mind. And just quickly to rehash this, because it's so important that we understand what is going on, the science behind this. All of your past experiences go towards the programming of your subconscious mind, which is much more powerful, much larger, much bigger, much more in control of you than the conscious mind. And this subconscious mind works an absolutely brilliant goal tracking mechanism. It's like an autopilot on a boat or a plane. You get it programmed, it is going to take you there. And so what happens? It's from your subconscious mind that quite often you'll get your thoughts. I mean, you can be walking along, driving along, in the shower. You can be doing absolutely anything you like. Thoughts just pop into your mind. They're from things you've seen, heard, read, experienced in the past, both positive and negative. They're stored in your subconscious. They pop up into your conscious mind as a thought. And basically what happens, those thoughts that you're having determine how you're feeling. Because, see, you can either be having happy thoughts or sad thoughts, excited thoughts or depressed thoughts. How you're feeling at any given moment is determined by what you are thinking about. And our thoughts and our feelings determine our actions and habits. Right? I mean, basically we only do what we feel like doing. Repeat that action over and over again, it becomes a habit. Now we don't even have to think about it. We just do it. Oh, that's always me. I just always do that. And those actions and habits determine the results we get in life, whether it be fitness and health, right? Finances, relationships, whatever. And those results determine the lifestyle we're able to lead. But guys, it's so important to understand how the thoughts fit in and they drive everything else. And Earl Nightingale, The Stranger's Secret. I mean, we played a longer version of this the other night. I just want to play you a short version of this as a reminder.
Now let's get back to the strangest secret in the world, the story that I wanted to tell you today. Why do men with goals succeed in life and men without them fail? Well, let me tell you something which, if you really understand it, will alter your life immediately. If you understand completely what I'm going to tell you from this moment on, your life will never be the same again. You will suddenly find that good luck just seems to be attracted to you. The things you want just seem to fall in line, and from now on you won't have the problems, the worries, the gnawing lump of anxiety that perhaps you've experienced before. Doubt, fear, well, they'll be things of the past. Here's the key to success and the key to failure. We become what we think about. Now let me say that again. We become what we think about. My old friend Dr. Norman Vincent Peale put it this way. This is one of the greatest laws in the universe. Fervently do I wish I had discovered it as a very young man. It dawned upon me much later in life, and I found it to be one of the greatest, if not my greatest discovery outside of my relationship to God. The great law, briefly and simply stated, is that if you think in negative terms, you will get negative results. If you think in positive terms, you will achieve positive results.
See, guys, if you think in negative terms, you will get negative results. And that's where it's important to have a look at this diagram we've got there. That's why I put it beside it. But if you think in positive terms, you'll get positive results.
If you think in negative terms, you will get negative results.
See, the negative thoughts are going to give you negative feelings and emotions. The actions you're going to take as a result of that are going to result in negative results. So important to understand this.
If you think in positive terms, you will achieve positive results. If you think in negative terms, you will get negative results.
You need to be able to draw that out, guys. This whole diagram here, we need to be able to draw it out so that you know it beyond a shadow of a doubt.
If you think in positive terms, you will achieve positive results.
And guys, this is why, because our thoughts lead to our feelings and emotions, our actions and habits, our results. That's why. And if you can't control your thoughts, you will not achieve your goals. Why is that? Because
if you think in negative terms, you will get negative results.
But
if you think in positive terms, you will achieve positive results.
I mean, that is so crucial, guys, to understand. If you can't control your thoughts, you will not achieve your goals. That's it, period. We've got to learn to control our thoughts. And your mind is full of bugs and nothing will work properly until you clear those first. And seeing what happens, this is with the first example that you do with the Andy Shaw stuff, is you realise that someone else is driving our thoughts. It's a nutter. He calls it a nutter in there in our mind. This happens for over 99% of the people. Their thoughts are controlled by a nutter, right? The nutter is in their subconscious mind. He calls it a sabotage or a saboteur. And it's a result of all these negative things that have happened in the past. That is what is going on. See, the nutter is creating the negative thoughts, negative feelings and emotions, actions and habits that you do as a result of feeling negative results. We've got to get rid of the nutter.
If you think in negative terms, you will get negative results.
Right? We get rid of the nutter. Right? And this is one of the ways we can do it, right? I mean, that's the diagram. That's where we want to end up. Right? We want to be able to use his bug-free mind methodology, the techniques in there, so that we can consciously decide on positive thoughts. Right? We also want to be using the affirmations and the EFT to change the nutter. Right? Try and wipe him out. And see, and this is what's so exciting, guys. We can do it. I mean, we've just had so much feedback already from people that are doing it. And I know, I've been doing it. I mean, for me, when I first started thinking about this, I thought, okay, a simple one for me would be weight loss. Right, now, the good news is, since putting these principles into play, right, 1st of January, and I got on the scales then, didn't start doing this stuff until later on. But I've now dropped just on 7 kilos in the 31 days. Right, and it's a combination of using the positive thoughts, the fact that I can control my thoughts. That's been a huge thing. You know, it made it so easy to do the cleanse day the other day. To feel like eating something, I can control my thoughts. I don't need to. It's just a mind game. Unbelievable. But this is what's going on, guys.
If you think in positive terms, you will achieve positive results.
And guys, this is what I'm seeing, and each and every one of us can do the same, not just with the weight loss, but with the business, any goal. The principles apply. Right? Dale Carnegie, Napoleon Hill, Earl Nightingale, all saying the same thing, plus everybody else, is that we become what we think about. So we need to be able to control our thoughts. Otherwise, we've got somebody else running our mind, running where we're going to end up. A nutter. And you've got to do the exercise in chapter 2 and 3. Right? There's no point in just reading it. You've got to do the exercises. And as I mentioned the other night, not doing them would be like going to a gym and just watching others work out. That's an old man. No point in going to a gym. That doesn't work. Now, you've actually got to do the exercises. And creating a bug-free mind, right? I mean, basically, there's 4 steps to this, right? In the first 5 chapters there, which covers the vast majority of it anyway. You get these bits done, you're going to be laughing. The first one is the 15 seconds of positive thought. And as Andy says in that, sometimes it takes a while for some people to be able to do just that much. But the main thing is persist. You've got to persist in these exercises, because if you don't learn to control your thoughts, you are not going to achieve your goals. So persist. 15 seconds of positive thought. No mind is the next stage. And what he says in there is it could take a while to get to this. Right? Now, I've been practicing that, and you can sit down, you go blank, and you try and blank everything off. Sit back and relax. You got some people that have been doing all this meditation stuff, they find that a piece of cake. But for me, I've never really done that. But I can see now how it can make a difference. If you could stop your mind, stop everything racing around, then you can come back and focus. And then the 15 minutes per day of being grateful. No, that was the third step. And then accepting what is. But the 15 minutes per day of being grateful, I've just, copied here straight out of his book what he had. He had me taking David flying. David's his son. When I took the children to Lapland and they saw Father Christmas. When I let David chuck a paper aeroplane off the Eiffel Tower. When my dad told me he was so proud of me. Being grateful for the view from the Empire State Building. The feeling I get when I know I'm going to Las Vegas. An afternoon at Goodwood Racecourse with friends. Seeing Sarah in front of the killer whale at SeaWorld. Seeing Alison happy. Chatting in the sauna with David. And so these are just a whole heap of different happy memories. And what I did is I wrote 50, of my happy memories on individual little, they're old business cards actually, on the back of those. And I had 50 of them written down. I mean, I think he had over 70 of them. But I had 50 of them. And then what I did was this 15 of them, where I pulled it random, and I looked at each one for a minute. And thought about that whole exercise, everything that I'd written down, everything I could about there. Thought about that one thing for a minute and then moved on to the next one. I actually had the little timer stopwatch thing going on my watch. Not on my watch, I'm old school, but on my phone, right? So it'd time it for a minute. Buzzer would go and then I'd turn over the next card and then concentrate on that one. Think about that whole story that I had written down there. I mean, some of them were as simple as, campfires at Gisborne, where we live. Right? Going with Linda, coral trout, the Whitsundays. Whatever. But I had this 50 different real happy memories. But then the trick was to focus on each one for a minute, then go to the next one for a minute, and the next one for a minute, the next one for a minute. And do that for 15. I mean, it was absolutely amazing. I could not have believed how changing that has been for me. Because what that did, by doing that, it proved to me that I can control my thoughts. I wasn't just thinking about the one thing for half an hour. I wasn't just daydreaming. I wasn't just fantasizing about the one thing, a favourite topic for half an hour. No. I could control my thoughts. I could look at this topic and then concentrate on it for a minute. I could look at the next one, concentrate on it for a minute. I could look at the next one, think all about it for a minute. I could look at the next one. And at the end of the 15 minutes, you're feeling fantastic. Couldn't believe it. The next day I got up singing, right? And just felt completely different having done that. So doing this, you get this exercise done, it will prove to you beyond a shadow of a doubt. And sometimes what he said, it takes a while to be able to do it. But persist. Because once you do this, you're going to know that you can control your thoughts. And then accepting what is. Right? And see, what he's talking about here is a lot of things, a lot of garbage, a lot of rubbish, stuff that's happened in the past. So we need to accept what it is. And I mean, Tanya Kirkpatrick was saying the same thing the other night. It is what it is. Accept it. It's just how it is. Accept it. Accepting what is. And what Andy Shaw said is it might take a while for you to be able to do that. Well, to be honest with you, what I've been using since 2002 is a very rapid and effective way to get rid of these negatives. And this is to write out a list of every negative thing you can recall happening to you or that you've done, and then using EFT on each of them. I remember doing this exercise in my motorhome up there at Mooloolaba one time. This just after my second marriage had flown apart. Now, I promise you, you have a marriage fly apart, you do not feel good. I don't care, why it flew apart. You just don't feel good. Huge sense of failure. Well, I've been through a couple of those. But what I did, I understood the science behind this. And I understood that, you know, all this negative stuff was affecting my subconscious, which is going to affect my output. So I sat down, I wrote out a huge, great long list, absolutely everything I could think of that had either gone wrong or I'd done wrong, messed up, screwed up, and then sat down and tapped on every one of them individually. In my case, it took about 2.5 hours, right? And I'd done a lot of EFT with a lot of other people by then, but that's what we did. And in doing that, I was there by myself in the motorhome, the Lullaby. And what was interesting, next morning when I got up, there was nobody else there, and I'm just yelling out at the top of my voice, I'm in the zone. I'm in the zone. It just made a huge difference to me. And basically, see, what happens with the EFT, just so you understand what's going on here, we want to end up with all these positive thoughts going in. Well, you can use the EFT to neutralize the negative thoughts, the negative things that have happened. I mean, one of the guys that was sharing with me today said that he wrote out about 50 of the negatives in his life, and he's been through some stuff just the same as all of us have. But what Gary shared with me this morning was the fact that even writing them down helped him. But he said some of them I got quite emotional about. And see, I promise you, if you're still having an emotional response when you think about an event that happened years ago, it is still affecting you via the subconscious. You may not be aware of it, but I promise you it is still affecting you. And seeing what we can do with the EFT, and we've been using this with people since, well, 2002. It doesn't change the facts, but it changes how you feel about it. And a lot of the cases, in the end, it's like, yeah, that's right, that happened, but it's like it happened to somebody else. And so by using the EFT, what we're able to do is to, in a lot of cases, shut up completely the nutter, right? And slow him down. So then it's a lot easier then for the conscious control to come in for us to decide what it is that we want to be thinking, to hold those positive thoughts without all this negative chatter coming in over the top. This is just what happens. You see that the nutter puts all this negative chatter in, ends up driving the whole thing. And basically what I've found over the years is that the easiest way to do this is using a technique developed by Dr. Patricia Carrington out of the UK, and it's called the Choices Trio. So it's on the tapping, and basically we've got some of this on the teamfsi.net website under personal development, under, you know, it's under team support, personal development, EFT. Right? There's a couple of different lots there. But in this particular case here, you're going to be better off going through, coming up with this big long list of negatives, everything you can think of, and then tapping on each of those using this Choices Trio. That's going to be better than just trying to find the stuff from Brad Yates, because this is very, very easy, right? I mean, it's a 4-step process on each of these negatives, and I'll go through and do a couple of these for you in a minute so you can see how it works. But basically, the setup's going to be, even though the negative thought, and then you're going to put a positive choice, a statement at the end of it. Right? So one of them might be, even though I've not been successful so far, I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. You know what I mean? Now that's just a positive choice statement I use. Sometimes people just do it and it works both ways. Just I deeply and completely accept myself and I'm okay. And see, this is the acceptance that Andy Shaw is talking about. But I promise you, when you do it and you're tapping the karate chop point, the acupressure points, as we do with EFT, it's going to make a huge difference to how quickly you can shift those negatives, and particularly the emotions that are tied up with them. And then you do a round of tapping, starting with the negative, and then a round of tapping, stating the positive choice, and then a round of tapping, alternating the negative and the positive. Right? And so that's how we do it. And the setup, and we'll go through and I'll do all this, but I just put it on here, so if you want to watch this video later to see how it works, it's going to be, even though, right, I've not been successful so far, I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. And whilst you're doing that, you'd be tapping the karate chop point, which you can see there on the little diagram. It's at the bottom of your hand. And it's where you chop down on something if you're doing a karate chop, and you tap that with the other hand. I'll show you in a minute. And then we go into a round of tapping stating the negative, and the round of tapping is the eyebrow point, the corner of the eye, under the nose, under the mouth, collarbone, under the arm. And you say the negative thought initially, and then we do another round of tapping on the positive statement, and then we do a round of tapping alternating. So, okay, guys, let's just do some. Okay, so I'll just go to speaker view here for a minute. And if you want to tap on, join in, and it'll give you a chance to work out where we're going. So the first one I want to do is, even though I've not been successful so far. So what I'm doing, I'm tapping the karate chop point here, right? Karate chop point. And then it's going to be the eyebrow point, which is this little point just in here at the point of your eyebrow on this bone here. You're going to have this point here, right? Then this point here. Then under the nose, under the mouth, bump the top of the chest, and then under the arm, right? And what I've found is the easiest way to remember these is to think of it as a question mark. We start here, we go around here, under here, right, and then bang under here. So if you're thinking of it as a question mark, because I mean, I have trouble clapping in church and trying to do all this and say stuff at once. Man, it really messed me up. But anyway, so let's just do this. Even though I've not been successful so far, I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. Even though I've not been successful so far, I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. Even though I've not been successful so far, I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. So that's the setup statement, tapping the karate chop point. And then we go to the eyebrow point. We do a round of negative. So even though I haven't been successful so far, even though I haven't been successful so far, that's outside of the eye. Under the eye, even though I haven't been successful so far. Under the nose, even though I haven't been successful so far. Under the mouth, even though I haven't been successful so far. Top of the chest, even though I haven't been successful so far. Under the arm, even though I haven't been successful so far. Right? I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. And then we do an alternating round. So we start here on the eyebrow point. Even though I haven't been successful so far, I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. Even though I haven't been successful so far, I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. Under the mouth, even though I haven't been successful so far, I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. Even though I haven't been successful so far, I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. And then a big deep breath. And let it all out. And then you just think about that negative statement that you've had, that we've just tapped on. And you think about what thoughts are coming in now. Because sometimes what will happen, you'll clear up that one, but then another thought associated with that activity or whatever happened, another negative thought will come in. And if that happens, you've got to go through and then tap on that next negative thought. right? Gary Craig, who came up with this EFT way back in 1998, I think it was, that he talked about the fact that it was like peeling an onion. You can take one layer of negative off, but then what that does is sometimes that'll allow, that's all, sometimes it might be that's it, one round of tapping, that does it. But sometimes it'll be another aspect of it. He talks about different aspects of the overall negative situation. And so you want to do that. And so let's just do this one. We'll just do a couple here for practice so you can get a feel for it, right? But even though I'm worried about what people may think, right? Even though I'm worried about what people may think, I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. Even though I'm worried about what people may think, I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. Even though I'm worried about what people may think, I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. Even though I'm worried about what people may think, even though I'm worried about what people may think, even though I'm worried about what people may think, even though I'm worried about what people may think, even though I'm worried about what people may think, even though I'm worried about what people may think, even though I'm worried about what people may think, I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. Even though I'm worried about what people may think, I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. Even though I'm worried about what people may think, I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. Even though I'm worried about what people may think, I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. Even though I'm worried about what people may think, I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. It's good, guys. Huh? Let's do this one. This may not relate for some of you, but it was one I had. A lot of these. Even though I messed up big time, I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. Even though I messed up big time, I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. Even though I messed up big time, I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. Even though I messed up big time, 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 I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. Even though I messed up big time, I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. Even though I messed up big time, I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. Even though I messed up big time, I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. Even though I messed up big time, I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay. A big deep breath, guys. Okay, so you can do that sort of thing for any of the negatives that come into your mind, right? But it's worthwhile spending some time going through, listening up all these negatives, because as Andy Shaw says, they're floating around in there. You may not even be aware of them normally, but they're having an impact. They're creating your nutter, right? And this is an easy way to shut that nutter down very quickly. And, it could be, things that people have said to you. It could be things that people have done. And the other thing you can do with, depending on what it is and all the rest of it, but even though so-and-so did such and such, I forgive him. Sometimes if it's a real emotional thing, and I mean, these days, let's be honest, 60% of the ladies have been sexually abused, 40% of the fellas. So in those sort of things, this forgiveness and the whole heap of things, and Andy Shaw talks about forgiveness, that what I found there and some of those things that are really emotional, if you can tap on it, I deeply and completely accept myself. I know God's in control and I'm okay as one round, complete, process, and then do another lot with, even though he did whatever, I forgive him. And sometimes if it's things that you've done where you've messed up, even though I did such and such, I forgive myself. And for some people, that's the hardest one, to forgive themselves. But I guarantee it makes a huge difference when you do this. We've been using this for 16 years now, 2002, 15 years. But it just makes a huge difference. So, what I want to do now, I just want to see if Belinda's here. Okay.
Hello.
Belinda, how are you?
Good, thank you.
That's good. So, had a good day?
I've had a great day, fantastic day. Just about finished my second day cleansing in a row.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So would you mind, Belinda, for all of you, just want to introduce you to Belinda. Belinda Matthews from up in Charterstowers, right?
Yep.
And yeah, great lady, great lady. But anyway, would you just like to share what's happened with you since you started going through this bug-free mind stuff and everything and what we did yesterday?
Yep, so after your webinar on Tuesday night, I decided I needed to take Wednesday off. So I called in and said I'm not coming to work, and I stayed home and I listened to the first two chapters, the introduction and chapter 1 in Andy's book. And right at the end of chapter 1, Andy talked about he knew why he failed and went bankrupt, because he had in his mind that he wanted to. He desired to lose it all so he could build it again. And just that got me thinking, if that was in his subconscious mind, what's in my subconscious mind? And that's what Trevor's just been talking about. Gary, who wrote out 50 negatives, Trevor spent a long time in his motorhome writing out all his thoughts and negatives he's had. And so I went and sat down for an hour and a half and wrote out mine. And I ended up having 3 A4 pages of negatives. And then it was fortunate I could connect with Trevor, and we went through that process on Zoom that he just took you through. We spent a bit of time talking and then did a few examples, and then Trevor let me go, and then I went and did another hour and a half on my own of tapping and releasing all those negatives. And then I came back to it at the end of the night or at the end of the day and did another hour and a half of tapping. So over 3 hours of tapping throughout the day to get rid of all these negatives. At the end of it, I felt fantastic. I wasn't exhausted, though Trevor and Linda both said some people do feel exhausted at the end of that, because it is a big process of letting go and your body's processing everything. And but I had a fantastic sleep last night. I haven't slept well for the last 2 weeks, and I've been waking up between 3 and 4 o'clock. I slept until 5 o'clock. Yay. And I've just noticed my outlook is very different today. I'm sure Trevor can hear the difference in me compared to the last couple of conversations we've had. My mind's more peaceful today. I don't have that nutter in my head going through all those negatives, those 3 pages of negatives constantly going through my head. My senses were a lot more alert today. I was seeing clearer. My hearing was crisper. I was picking up on sounds around the environment today that I normally wouldn't stop and listen to. So yeah, today there was a lot more peace, and I was choosing my thoughts today. And the thoughts that were coming in today were actually the positive ones that I was tapping yesterday. Like I deeply and completely accept myself. Then every now and then it'd come in, God's in control, and I'm okay. Another big thing that happened this morning was I'm looking at getting to celebration, so I'm just working to get there. And I thought this morning, to save some money, I'm sure someone will be out there who wants to share accommodation, share a room. And I didn't think anything of it. I let it go. And then I got a phone call just after lunch. Linda connected with me and said she's got someone in Melbourne who's flying up and would love to share a room. So it's like, oh, wow. So the universe is already starting to send to me, and I'm aware and accepting it, because all those negatives, all those stories I've had are not there anymore. And I come in late, and I've just had my daughter, who's tired and emotional, and she says, we need to talk because I just don't know how to handle people. And so I'm going to be taking her through this technique to help her let go of her negatives. She's 9 and she's already got negatives there. So I'm going to help her let go of the negatives and put some positives in there that she can call on, and her subconscious mind will call on in those times of difficulties with other kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've done it with kids, and they just soak it up and they love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
it's I read chapter 2 today, and I stopped and did the 15 seconds of thinking of positive. And I timed myself, and I thought, let's see how long I can go for. I went for 3 minutes and 15 seconds. And I only stopped because the aircon changed, making a noise. And I thought, well, I can change. I can choose my thoughts in this moment. So I could have gone back to it, but I went to check what the time was.
Yeah.
So, yeah, from the other day I could do the 15 seconds, but I'm sure it wouldn't have gone any further than that. To today going 3 minutes and 15 seconds, because the mind's, well, that nutter's shut out now.
Yeah. And then the other thing you mentioned in the SMS to me tonight earlier was you've contacted someone today.
Yeah, I guess it's been, I've really, in the past I've held back in talking to people about isogenics, and I was having a conversation with someone today, and I just brought it up. Because I know I'm courageous, and I got the answers on how to help people.
I mean, that was one of the things we tapped on yesterday, wasn't it?
It was, yes, we did. Yeah, and it came straight into my head today, or, the negative thought didn't pop in my head at all today. Yeah. So, yeah, it was fantastic to have these positives just pop in and not even have to worry about any of those negatives anymore. Yeah. Another thing I realised today was I still had some other negatives come up. So I tapped on a couple, some I forgot about. So something I'm going to try and do is just walk around with a notepad so I can at least jot them down and come back to them when I've got time, because you don't always have time in that moment. Yeah. But yeah, it'll remind me to let go of them that day.
Yeah. That's just fantastic. And I mean, would you mind sharing, looking back on it now, how you felt you were when we first started the conversation yesterday, right? Because, I mean, did you just tell them what happened?
I was in tears straight away. Within 30 seconds, I guess, of listening to Trevor and then me starting to talk, I was in tears. And I was down, and I was focusing on the negatives.
I mean, you were distraught, really.
Yeah.
Overwhelmed.
Yep. and thinking about my current situation, and I didn't want to be there any longer in that position any longer.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, to now, not even 12 hours later, a complete turnaround.
Yeah. It's just beautiful to see you today.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
And I mean, it did my heart good just to get your SMS last night too, right? And because I mean, the thing is, guys, you just got to know that we got the answers here.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you're going through. I promise you do this, we got the answers. You know, we got products that work. We got an unbelievable compensation plan. Hardly anybody's in isogenics, right? A lot of them have heard about it, but, you know, they know it's good product. But they don't know how good it is.
Can I say, Trev, today in that conversation I had, something that we tapped on yesterday was a fear I had of being put in the same basket as other people who were trying to sell isogenics. And that came up in the conversation today going, oh, that's not that stuff like that nutter was trying to push on me. And I said, well, yes, it is. And I didn't even give it a thought, you know, that, oh, and I didn't freeze in that point like I used to. And I just said, yes, it is the same stuff. I'm a different person. So let's just have a talk about. If you're willing, I can send you a video. And then if you have any questions at all, you can get in contact with me and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was great that came up in the conversation.
That's fantastic, right? I really appreciate it. Okay, well, look, thanks so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Really
thank you for your support, and thank you, Linda, as well.
Yeah, oh, look, our pleasure, our pleasure. So let me just do this, and just see if I can find Gary here quickly for a minute too. Here we are, mate, here we are. Right, so here's Gary Cross from down here in Melbourne. So Gaz, how have you found going through this stuff so far, mate?
Well, I read the book, and after actually reading the book, I decided to do the 50-odd negative and the 50 positive. But it seemed to take a while to go on through it, because I went halfway through and I found I had to stop. But doing the negative, it tended to bring up a lot of emotions. Maybe you feel down and that sort of thing, you know. But I managed to get through them all. But it's amazing what it brings up, just writing them out. Yeah,
and you know, for those of you who don't know Gary's a good mate down here in Melbourne, and he's been through some stuff. Lost a wife with cancer a few years ago, and you know, just got some other stuff that's not easy in his life at the moment. But he's a really good guy, and so now having all that stuff, Gary, and with what we've just done tonight, do you think you're going to be able to go through and tap on those?
Oh yeah, I think I can. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you get into strife, mate, just give us a call and we'll get on and we can help you through it and get you started, right?
Yeah.
But I'll get this video up pretty quick, smart, and we'll probably put down a cut-down version just of the EFT bit somewhere too, so it'll be easy to get to. I'll put that on the EFT page, right? And there's a page on our Team FSI site called EFT with Trevor sort of trick, something like that, and it's got this choices trio on there. You can print off a page. It shows you where to do the tapping and so on. And yeah, so that's awesome. But mate, even just going through and writing them out, apart from the fact that you said, you know, brought up some emotions, how are you feeling even having just done that bit?
I think I woke up this morning with a bit of a clear their head. I don't know why, maybe because I wrote them all down. I think that's what I got down on paper.
And you'd been doing some of the positives, and you'd been doing some of the other exercises he's got there too, right?
Yep.
Yeah, doing the 15 seconds.
Yep, I done the 50 of the positives and the 50 of the negatives, and I did the 15 second, and I did the mind blank. But I ended up doing it for about 10 odd minutes.
Yeah, because you've done meditation before, right?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I've done.
Yeah, yeah. And see, you know, I really appreciate you sharing, mate, right? And you know, and as I say, if you have any strife, mate, get back to us and we'll help you out here, right? Yeah. Because it doesn't take long. Like yesterday, Belinda and I weren't on the Zoom call that long.
Oh no, it's amazing listening to what she said.
Yeah. And just so you understand, I've been doing this with people for, well, since 2002. And one of the other things that happens, I mean, how far you go in terms of in life is all determined by your self-image. It doesn't matter how I see you. It doesn't matter how other people see you. It's how you see yourself.
Yeah, you're right there. Yep.
Right? And basically our self-image, it gets increased by the things where we've had a victory, the good things that have happened in life, where people have encouraged us, we've done well or whatever, but it gets shrunk
yeah.
by all the negatives. And so what we're able to do here with the EFT, and we've done this with lots of people for 15 years, is get them to go through this exercise from as far back as you remember every negative thing, and then we go through and tap on them. Right? So that takes out the negatives, and then we use the affirmations. In the past, we've used the affirmations then just to put in some positives. But this whole bug-free mind thing, it just takes it to another level. You know, getting people to stop and think and know that they can control their thoughts. I mean, that has just been huge for me. The number of times since Saturday when I first did it, I've said, I can control my thoughts. Right? And then in terms of being self-disciplined, which is one of the keys to success, is easy. When you know you can control your thoughts. I mean, going through the cleanse day the other day was a piece of cake. I mean, cleanse day is a mind game, right? You know you're not going to die, but you just, you know, in the head, it's like, I got to eat. But anyway, Gary, thanks, mate. I appreciate you sharing.
Thanks, Trevor.
And, you know, as I say, mate, let us know if you need any help. I'll just quickly go back here to this screen share. So the choice is for us. So thanks so much, Belinda and Gary. I really appreciate that. And then, really, guys, we can create a bug-free mind by the 15 seconds of positive thought, the no mind next day, the 15 minutes per day of being grateful. I mean, that was just, I could not believe how much that made a difference to me. And then accepting what is and coming up with this list of, you know, negative things that have happened and accepting those by tapping on them with the EFT. I guarantee you the EFT can change people and get rid of all that negative stuff instantly. Right? In the book, he's talking about it may take weeks or months. No, the EFT is instant. And so what happens? Right? If we go back to this, we want to end up with the conscious control. We want to have the positive thoughts coming in. We can use the EFT to get rid of all those negatives. And then what will happen if we put the affirmations in on a daily basis, that'll then set our autopilot towards our goals. If we get rid of the nutter with the EFT, we use the affirmations and the knowledge that I can control my thoughts to be thinking positively. So we end up with positive feelings and emotions, take actions and habits that are constructive to give us the positive results, achieve our goals. Right? That's what we're doing, guys. And what I'll do on Sunday night, 8 p.m, is we'll do a session on the affirmations. So that'll give you a chance to go through and get all the stuff cleaned up, do the other bug-free mind bit. And then on Sunday night, we'll just have a quick session. It won't be all that long, but if you get some 3x5 cards, you know, in the meantime, so that you can write them out, that'll be handy. But it'll be good. So we'll do that. It'll be 8 p.m, same channel, same time, same Zoom call. And I'm just so excited to get all this done because I know we can help each and every one of you. I just know that. And it's just so exciting. So anyway, with that, we will just unmute all. Thanks again, Belinda, for having the courage to share. I really appreciate that, sweetheart. That was just awesome because truly, I mean, the change within 24 hours in Belinda has just been dramatic. And absolutely dramatic. And Gary, thanks for sharing as well, Mum. So it's all good?
Thank you. That was all amazing.
Thank you, Belinda.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Trevor. Thanks, Trevor.
Thanks, guys. We can do it, guys. We can do it.
Thanks, Trev.
Thank you, Trevor. Cheers, mate.
Pleasure, guys.
Thank you, Trevor.
Trevor, really appreciate all your support.